Hi, it's Dr. Van Dusen at New Hope Chiropractic. Today's topic is going to be salt, specifically the differences between table salt, sea salt, and Himalayan salt, and why you should care. Main difference between regular table salt and other salt alternatives like sea salt and Himalayan salt is the taste, texture, and the amount of processing that's used for each. Sometimes people assume that sea salt is the same thing as Himalayan salt. While they both are table salt alternatives, there's a big difference between the two. Although with Himalayan salt, it may have started out as sea salt a long time ago, that's where the similarities end, because it comes from ancient sea salt beds that are found at high elevations in remote areas. Sea salt is produced through the evaporation of water from either the ocean or from saltwater lakes. So its origin and the amount of time that it's had to mature is a lot different. Sea salt typically is less processed than table salt, but increasingly that's actually changing. Unprocessed sea salt contains trace minerals, unlike heavy processed salt. Table salt that comes from deep underground salt deposits. Trace minerals in sea salt actually give it its unique flavors and colors, and table salt that's devoid of any kinds of minerals usually has iodine added to it, and also anti-caking agents to make it free-flowing so it doesn't clump together. A major concern, though, that I have and many other people have about sea salt is its source. Many of our waters, like our oceans, for example, are becoming increasingly polluted, and polluted with heavy metals like mercury, chemicals like dioxin, PCBs, and also plastic particles. And that doesn't even include toxic oils that remain in the water for decades and decades after oil spills. Our oceans and saltwater lakes today just aren't in the pristine condition that they were in the past, especially the distant past. So when sea salt is evaporated or dried, the pollutants can become more concentrated and present and present an even greater potential threat to your health. Unless the salt is refined and purified to remove the remains of pollutants, you're likely to end up with a chemical tainted product. And certainly that's not something that you want to consume liberally or add to your food on a daily basis. So when salt is refined, as the majority of salts typically are these days, the structure of the crystals actually changes. And microscopically, that should be a harmonious, balanced structure, and then it becomes fragmented and isolated with its valuable minerals taken off the salt crystals. And this actually negatively affects the way our body absorbs the minerals from the salt. So Himalayan salt is very unique in its origins. It comes from ancient seabeds, ancient sea salt high up in the Himalayan mountains, and those mountains extend through China, Nepal, Pakistan, India, Afghanistan, Bhutan, and Myanmar. And this unique salt started out in lava-covered crystallized sea salt beds over 200 million years ago. And having spent many thousands of years maturing under these extreme conditions with a lot of pressure, the salt has a perfect crystalline structure, and it's not processed, so its unique structure remains intact and is in a much more harmonious state. So your body's much more readily able to absorb this stuff, this type of salt. So healthy salt alternatives for healing and well-being. There's some myths that need to be dispelled. You've heard over the years that salt isn't healthy and that you should watch how much you consume. When it comes to table salt and other processed salts, that's actually the case, because they're tainted and they're heavily processed, and they're best consumed in moderation. And I don't recommend filling your salt shaker with any processed salt. So why is the Himalayan sea salt considered different? Well, unlike table salt, it isn't stripped of its healthy minerals, and it's not bleached or treated with chemicals. Chemically clean salt is 97.5% sodium chloride and 2.5% chemicals, such as flow agents, moisture absorbents, and iodine too. Himalayan salt is only 84% sodium chloride, with the remaining 16% consisting of important trace minerals, and these help your body process and utilize the sodium chloride process properly. And when you have too much sodium chloride in your system, you've taken too much of it, as what happens when you use refined table salt, and eat processed foods, which are, by the way, absolutely inundated with sodium chloride, your body actually tries to isolate it, to neutralize it and remove it. And to accomplish this, water is drawn from your cells to surround and break up the sodium chloride into its separate ions. So that dehydrates you. For every gram of sodium chloride that your body can't process, your body uses 23 times the amount of cell water to neutralize the salt. So the resulting fluid imbalance in your cells is exactly why medical experts frown on excessive salt intake. But Himalayan sea salt can be an asset to your health. It's really much tastier and it's much healthier than any of these other types of salt, especially processed table salt. So there are other things you can use it for as well besides seasoning your food with it. You can use it as a nasal irrigator or the washing out of your nose with warm salt water once or twice daily. It can be useful for plugged up sinuses and nasal cavities. So this helps the body heal itself. So it's good for nasal irrigation. And salt rooms, that's a concept that originated in Eastern Europe and it's now popping up more and more here in North America. But there are small rooms that are covered floor and wall with blocks and tiles of Himalayan salt. And by sitting and relaxing in the room for 30 to 60 minutes, you pleasantly breathe in the salt-laden air and has potential benefit from the many good things in Himalayan salt. Salt baths are good too. Your skin is your largest organ, and you can absorb and potentially benefit from the Himalayan salt's many healthful qualities that way, and it comes through your skin. So you can dissolve some Himalayan salt crystals in the bath, and it's about 2.6 pounds of salt for a filled 27 to 32 gallon tub or 100 to 120 liter tub. And make sure you fill your tub only with clean filtered water. Himalayan salt lamps are really good too. If you're like most people, you're surrounded by electromagnetic frequency waves generated by things like computers, appliances, and other electronics. And these salt lamps are very decorative and help counteract the negative effects of EMFs and excessive positive ions, either at home or in your workspace. And they also make a nice night light with their soft, rosy glow. So this helps you to understand the differences between the different types of salts, and I encourage you to get some Himalayan salt and use that for your next meal or for your cooking or for some of these other purposes too. And always, as always, check us out on newhopechiropractic.com, and I hope you have a healthy day.